Okay. So if I go to solve this, I can do 0.06 times 200, or I can do 3 over 50 times 200. Well, if I do 0.06 times 200, I'm going to get 12. If I do 3 over 50 times 200, I'm also going to get 12. It doesn't matter either way. It's entirely up to you what you're more comfortable doing. All right, so when I get down to the 18% of 50, again, I can write that in the decimal version or in a fraction. So I can put this as 0.18, or I can put this as 18 out of 100, because we, again, know percent is out of 100, and I can reduce that if I chose to. Okay, so 18% of is our multiplication, 50. 18% of 50. So if I do either of those multiplication problems, 0.18 times 50 or 18 out of 100 times 50, either way, I'm going to get 9 as my answer.
But I want a hug.
Okay. All right. Go back up. All right. Sorry about that. That was my daughter. So now, with our last one, we have 80%. So I can either do 0.80 or just 0.8, or I can do 80 out of 100, reduce it if I chose to, of, again, our multiplication, 360. Again, I'm going to get the same answer whichever way I choose to do it, and I'm going to get an answer of 288. Okay? And if you want to check those, see if you're doing the multiplication the correct way, check against the answers that I have here. That's good practice for you. But you are going to have some examples that you're going to need to solve in your lesson for Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, so finally, a real-world application of how we could use this to solve. Okay, so Sammy went out to eat and wanted to leave an 18% tip on a $42 bill. How can we solve this using a fraction? Well, what we want to know is we want to know 18% of 42. That's what we want to know. So if we were going to use it as a fraction, 18% is the same as saying 18 out of 100. Again, percent is out of 100. Always, 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 always. I can reduce this. What number do I know goes into both 18 and 100? Well, looking at them right away, I'm going to say, well, they're both even. So I know 2 can go into both of them. 2 goes into 18 9 times, and 2 goes into 100 50 times. Now, can I reduce it further than that? No. So 9 out of 50 is what I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is 9 out of 50, 9/50ths of 42, so times 42. And that should give me my answer. So what is 42 times 9? Let's figure that out. 18, 37, 78 divided by 50. And just for sake of time, I'm going to put it into a calculator. You are allowed to use a calculator while you're at home. I'm not going to stop you on that. But do make sure that you would know how to show your work if you are going to be doing this long division. But I know that's hard to do on a Chromebook. So my tip is going to be $7.56. Well, let's see what happens when we do the same problem using a decimal. So again, 18%. What is 18% as a decimal? It's going to be 0.18. 0.18 of multiplication 42. So I'm multiplying them. So I have 42 times 0.18, and I'm going to multiply it out. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 1, 33. 0 placeholder. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 4 is 4. Add them up. 6, 5, 7. I have 2 decimal places right here, which means I have to have 2 decimal places right here. And look at that. I get the exact same answer that I did before. So, does it make a difference which way you choose to do this? Absolutely not. If you're finding percent of a number, you can use the fraction version of that percent, or you can use the decimal version of that percent. You're going to get the same answer. The only way that that might be slightly different is if you're in this situation where you have a repeating decimal and it might be a little teensy bit off, just like we had up here where we had 7.992 instead of 8. But that's because I only did 3 decimal places, and we know a repeating decimal goes on forever. If we had 100 decimal places in there, it's going to be as close to 8 as it could possibly be. But it might look a little bit different, but it's technically the same answer. Okay? So does it make a difference? Absolutely not. You can choose either way to do it, and it gives you the same exact answer.